Welcome back to the Mr. Showtime podcast. Now, usually when I do Springbok related videos, I'm usually wearing my Springbok t-shirts. Just changing dress code for once, yeah. But in this video, I want to shed some light on the sexism of SA Rugby being sexist and hateful towards men. You see, this society doesn't care about men's feelings. This society is harsh on men's punishment and softer to females when it comes to punishment. Hence, they're doing the same guilt of the same transgression. Now, earlier this year, I was watching Paga Rugby show on SuperSport, and Kaya Malotana was hosting SA Rugby's president, CEO, Mark Alexander. Now, I don't have the exact clip, but I remember Mark Alexander said, well, we were talking about management of, I think it was during August. Mark Alexander said, well, women are much better leaders than men. Sorry to my male colleagues, but women, blatant sexism on TV. And nobody blinked an eye. Now imagine if he said the reverse, that, men are better leaders than women. That's fact. We all know this, right? Because if something is facts and it's inherently assumed, you don't need to say it. Now, do you? Such as, the sky is blue, grass is green, the sun rises from the east and sets to the west. You don't need to say that because it's inherently obvious and it's assumed. People know it inherently, right? But all these wokest agendas, these sayings, these catchphrases you see on the mainstream media, a woman can do anything a man can do. It's bullshit. Because if that was true, then you wouldn't need to say it. If women are such better leaders than men, then how come society is built on the backs of men? How come the STEM industry, science, technology, engineering, maths, it's mostly dominated by men? Don't give me this bullshit talking about, well, historically, men have been oppressing women, not giving them opportunities to work in those industries. Okay, in today's society, everyone is welcome to do anything. And yet still, women at large do not make up a huge sum in those industries. Women go after easier, harmless jobs such as being a teacher, being a lawyer, being a social worker. And they're busy filling up colleges and universities doing useless causes such as underwater basket weaving. Women don't build societies. Men do. We all know this. But now, Satanists, Antichrists, right? The NWO is trying to push these new age agendas. Well, did you know in 2022, women are better leaders than men? Bullshit. How come women don't make up a huge sum of the majority in military, in mining? Why? They're welcome to do it now. Women are independent, they're free, but they still choose to do harmless jobs. It's still men that make up like 80 or 90% of dangerous jobs, hence why men are paid more. That's the debunking of this whole gender gap bullshit. But coming back to the Elton Jantjies and Zeenut Simjee saga. Elton Jantjies engaged in sexual misconduct, unprofessional conduct, and he was punished and he was released. He was sacked from playing from the Springboks, and rightfully so. He had a sexual scandal with Springbok dietitian Zeenut Simjee, right? Guess what happened to her? She got suspended for like one match. She got sent home from Australia. I think it was while the Springboks were playing against the All Blacks. She was sent home, and a couple of weeks later, she was brought back to the Springbok camp. So in other words, the worst she ever got is a slap on the wrist. Now, Elton Jantjies, oh no. He was ordered to leave the Springboks. He was booted out of the Springbok camp indefinitely. He was told to, I think he was ordered to undergo rehab. But Simjee, oh no, the worst she's got is just a simple suspension for like a couple of weeks. Now she's back in the Springbok training camp. How come there's no extensive punishment for her? It couldn't possibly have anything to do with the fact that she's, part of the XX, falls under the XX demographic, if you know what I mean, right? Elton Jantjies falls under the XY demographic. Zeenut falls under the XX demographic. And if you fall under the XX demographic, you are exempt from accountability and responsibility. Right? Sexism. Now, again, I mentioned Mark Alexander saying that, lying, saying that women are better leaders than men. Since when? Well, it's 2022 and we had to get with the times. Listen, 1 + 1 has always been equal to 2. It will never change. Whether it's old order of thinking or new order of thinking, 1 + 1 will always be equal to 2. Men have always been builders and pioneers of empires and legacies. What have women built? Now, some simp, some mangina is going to come into my comment section and he or she's going to mention 1 or 2 or 3 female icons that have somewhat had an impact on society. Okay, you mention 1, 2, 3, or 4. I can mention you a whole list, a long laundry list of men that have built and shaped our modern society. Not just our modern society, since the beginning of time. How come Zeenut is able to lie, talk about, well, it wasn't her, it was a twin sister. Now, I did my research on Miss Zeenut Simjee. Doesn't say anything about her having a sister. So she lied. I checked her biography and her Instagram. I didn't see any pictures of her posting with her supposed alleged non-existent twin sister. And of course, Rassi is co-signing and defending her. Where's that same smoke for Elton Jantjies? Oh no. Men get held accountable. We get our feet held to the fire. SA Rugby, shame on you for your blatant sexism and hatred towards men. You should be ashamed of yourself. Zeenut should be punished just as much as Elton has been punished, because she engaged in the same sexual misconduct in that hotel room just as much as Elton. It takes 2 to tango to have sex. It takes 2 to tango. Don't give me this bullshit talking about, well, Elton pursued her and she didn't reject his advances now, did she? She acquiesced. She was open to his sexual advances. Both of them are guilty just as much. Don't punish Elton Jantjies worse and then have a lighter punishment for Zeenut because, she's a woman and, she has to keep her job. That's sexism. Is it not? I speak not only... I'm not defending Elton Jantjies for what he did, but I'm speaking for all men who have succumbed to unfair punishment. And I say, SA Rugby and Mark Alexander, shame on you for your blatant sexism. That's all I have to say for now. Thanks for watching. Cheers.